cloud. There we go. So it is recording. So anyway, what we're here today is just to kind of start with what your club's individualized message is, because I'm all about, yes, we are all part of Rotary. It's a great club, but who you are as an individual club will differ. So what you do in Estes Park will be different with what we do here in Thermopolis. So when I was digging into it, one of the things that I was just introduced to is the brand center. And this is really nice because it is all in different languages, which kind of answers your questions about diversity. And it is, where you go is myrotary.com. If you're like me, you might need to reset your password to get in. Or if you're one of those really good ones, you might already have your password and be able to. And then you go to news and media and then to the brand center. And this is a really nice area where you can find all the assets and questions and how to kind of take your individual club and give it the look for international club. One of the things I came across was that there are 7 areas of focus that Rotary International has really looked at. And they say these are our areas of focus, because I know that there's a lot of discussion in our club. Polio is almost eradicated. What is our identity? That's been our identity for so long. Who are we now? And so these are the areas that they identified. So we can go one by one and just pick which one kind of stands out to you. And I'm new to Thermopolis. My other club, I was president of Riverton Rotary. And so I can use that as my example, is that we're just getting ready to revitalize when COVID hit, the Read to Me program. So I would choose the topic, basic education and literacy. But we also have in our club a young lady that is the director for the local women's shelter. So another one for us is maternal and child health, because she's always bringing those issues to us. And so once you identify just one area, and then maybe you can share with the group why you chose that area of focus for your group. So if you want to take a few minutes, if someone's already picked out an item, if you want to share it, just go ahead and jump in. So we got peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, community economic development, which honestly, that kind of stands out. That's probably what Thermopolis focuses most on, and environment, which would suit you, Mary, just in your job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pick up on you, Bill. Do you see one of these that stands out for you that your club would focus on?
Politics, the way they're going nowadays, I don't think we focus. What we focus on is the nonprofits, and we try to focus on what they do and try to help them. So I would say economic development is the Chamber of Commerce idea, and focusing on the different ethnicities in our community. But I'm not sure. I think peace building and conflict prevention still fits what I'm thinking.
Okay. With the nonprofits.
Right.
So,
And Jackie, I'm not sure where our club fits into this, but a lot of our donations and our fundraising has gone especially to homeless in the area of Loveland. And specifically, we work a lot with the Thompson Education Foundation, which provides services to homeless students. And the term homeless is a broader term that sometimes refers to they're living on somebody's couch or in a tent, but that's been really a focus of a lot of our giving and our fundraising in recent years. We call ourselves the Club with Heart. We're the club in Loveland that does the customized hearts around town. It's our major fundraiser, as is the Governor's Art Show, which supports the art community, which is very important in Loveland. But again, I think as far as our giving, a lot of it goes to homeless. So I'm not really sure how that fits in.
Well, it could either go under community economic development or basic education and literacy. When I was really looking at this, I think they keep it broad, but they wanted you and so for the purpose of this, when we're looking at our individualized message, I'm trying to figure out how we can tie it back to Rotary as a whole and to what assets they have. So I think you could go underneath either of them, but maybe community economic development would work for that. And I have seen that, the club with the heart. I like that. How about you, Glenda? Which one would you say? And it could be narrow or broad.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really thought about fitting into these categories, but environment, and I'm not exactly sure how they're using that, but we have been a big player, as well as the two larger Rotaries have been big players in development of the Pooter Learning Center, and which is a huge outdoor environmental learning center for students and families. And we helped we really found all the money to build a brand new educational building, which is quite beautiful. So I guess we'd fit in there. We also have a fundraiser that is pretty much dedicated to scholarships for students, which doesn't really fit in basic education and literacy. And then we have a pot of money every year that we give to our nonprofits. So,
well, which one does most interest you? What would you like to develop the message on today? What are you most invested in of those three?
I would like to, what am I?
Putting you on the spot. I'm going to go grab a pen real quick.
Okay. We'll go with basic education and literacy, but we don't have projects to support that yet, honestly. But we're going to be talking about it, because we're definitely going to do some strategy and planning.
And that's what I was looking at with our Riverton Club, because the Read to Me program had died off. And just before COVID, we were just getting ready to launch it again. And I think this is a good exercise for us just to kind of like think about what our club means and who we are. So Carl, how about you?
Yeah, we're doing a lot in a number of different areas. We helped out a town in Mexico that would fit mostly under basic education and disease prevention to a certain extent. The stuff that we've been doing for the last year here in northern Colorado is really around food insecurity and housing insecurity. And, so that's slightly different language, but for all intents and purposes, it fits so well in the 7 categories that Rotary has. The nice thing about these 7 is that they're flexible enough that you can say, all right, so how do we choose to exercise this in our community? What's really the need? What's the balance? How much do we want to be contributing to fighting polio worldwide versus serving our local community, things like that. We haven't done a lot to try to force fit our focus areas into these 7 categories. These are fine, and it helps us to leverage some stuff from Rotary International for sure, because there's some fabulous resources. But we don't feel constrained by how somebody else might define environment versus how we define environment or something like that.
And that's a good way to think about these, is these 7 areas of focus are fluid as well.
Yeah. And, that's one of the things that I love about Rotary is that it's really all about serving the community and serving humanity, and doing that where you can make a difference, wherever that is.
I know when I was looking at this list, it's the water, sanitation, and hygiene stuck out at me because we had members who have since passed, but they were very dedicated to a water project in Mexico. And so our club, we got grants, we did fundraising, and we sent them out to take care of this water and sanitation and hygiene in a small village in Mexico. So it's like you never know where your passions are going to take you. So now that we've each chosen one area of focus, all I was thinking is list the ways your club takes action on your focus. We were already kind of covering that. So the order I have people is Mary, since you hopped on first, you were talking, and I want to make sure I got this one right, about the homeless and what you're doing with those. And so if you start thinking about it as you're sitting here, how would you sum that up to a message that you can go and tell someone, this is what our Rotary Club does. I love the take heart, the club with a heart. So I would definitely think about you continuing to use that. But think of a one-liner where you can focus on that. And we can all take a few minutes just to take our examples, and I'm going to do it as well because I'm thinking about my new club, Thermopolis. You know how fun it is to switch clubs. You still miss your old one, but it's like there's opportunities that present when you change. So let's go ahead and all of us, if you want to share your thoughts, or if you want some extra help, and then we can share with them just a simple message, very just one liner, just like what I put on here, where we would do basic education and literacy with our Read to Me program. And what we did is we went out to, I believe the focus was any age group you wanted, but Rotarians signed up, and an hour a week, they would donate their time to go into these classrooms and read to the kids. And it had an impact. When they were doing this back in 2006, when I first started, these kids are now older, and they still remember these Rotarians coming in and reading to them. And for many, this was their first time to be around Rotarians. So the Read to Me program was really important because it introduced them to people outside of their classroom, and it brought them in. Of course, we can't do this program now, but there are ways to do it through Zoom or other ways. But I will write a one-liner about it, and we'll all take some time and write a one-liner, just one simple message about one of these items and how your club, and you don't have to use peace building and conflict prevention in your message, but just know the essence of it. Does everyone have something?
Mhm.
All right. Carl, you want to go ahead and share your message?
Yeah, so with the fundraiser we did last year, what really came out powerfully was we support families getting back to work by through what did it, what was the adjective I had? We help families get back to work by supporting their kids' daycare and online education. And that really tied together so many of the different pieces of what we were doing and gave it a powerful focus. I did not create a people of action slide out of that because we found it really hard to do people of action photos in virtual because it's basically a screenshot of Zoom, which is boring and everybody's so tired of that. So, the people of action photos that I have, which I've got maybe 15 of them, are all out there physically doing stuff in the community kind of pictures. But I
You're
struggle
way
with-
ahead of me because I've never done a people of action campaign.
Oh, well, I wouldn't think of it as a campaign. That makes it a bigger deal than it needs to be. What it is a action picture with a powerful concept on it that really, makes a difference to people that see it. So it's great on social media. I use them on Meetup and Facebook all the time.
Thank you. Mary?
Well, again, I think our club has really worked with the phraseology about a club with heart. Now, if you can see it, that's our brochure, and you can see we've incorporated the heart into the logo, the club with heart. But
I love it.
we take that into other things too, and I'm sorry, this is just a black and white proof, but we do the governor's art show, and a lot of that goes to homeless students, so we call it Art with Heart. And that's just a black and white proof that I had on my desk. So I think that heart messaging and that really works for us being in Loveland. And because our major fundraiser is the Heart program, which is ridiculously popular. We have hundreds, if not thousands of people wanting those hearts, and we're limited on what we can do. So I feel like that tells about our club, but I'm not sure we've really made the connection in a real, we do, and when we do like an advertisement, Art with Heart, in the art guide, we're telling where this money goes from this governor's art show. But I thought about maybe adding the tagline, "At home in Loveland, a club with heart." And then just really struggling that we're part of the Loveland community and trying to make sure that everyone has a home, has a safe place to go. Because again, a lot of our donations in this year of COVID has gone to help with housing and security and various programs that we thought were important during this time.
I love it. No pun intended.
We'll take it.
Linda, would you like to share what you have?
Well, I've been, thinking about what we actually do, and I don't know that they fit at all the areas of focus, but when I really think about what we actually do, we really develop our future leaders. So we put a lot of money into scholarships, into RILA. We send more kids to RILA than anyone, I think, by far. So we do a lot of that. Then I also just thought we do a lot of general things in the community. I love the idea of people of action. Honestly, I don't think our club has an identity yet. So it'll be interesting to sort of bring this up when we do our visioning and strategic planning. So, I came up with general stuff like contributing to community vitality, health and home, environment, and education, because we really support all of those in different ways. And we do some stuff global too, but I don't know how to capture all that in a
Well,
bad.
and that is the beauty of it. That's what I ran into is like, well, how do I pick one message? Well, it's like, well, let's just stick with the read me to me, even though I know it's like what we do with this shelter is wonderful.
Yeah.
So I would say that for the sake of this exercise, the future leadership, I love that. And that's community economic development because
Is that where
you
it
are,
fits?
I would say it
Hmm.
could go into basic, I think it goes into the economic development because who's going to build up our economy but our future leaders?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you could put it,
Yeah.
where else would you think?
Well, the difficulty that I have with that is I also view RILA and exchange programs and stuff as character development. And that's a much broader thing than just these 7 categories, you know, so that's where I like the fact that they're malleable and we can say, well, let's just bend it that way. That's fine.
Let's make it child health and economic development. I know I'm not a person that fits well in a box, but I do like challenges. Bill, how about, we hear from you yet?
No, I'm juggling 2 meetings here, so I'm gonna have to leave in about, but I wanted to see
But we really are grateful you came.
what goes on at these meetings. And our club's a little like Greeley. We have our hands in a lot of different pots, you know. And for example, this coming Saturday, it's cleanup day, and it's not just our club project. A lot of nonprofits get together on a Saturday and just help clean up the town. We used to take part a little bit selfishly because we wanted to clean up the river where we were going to have the duck race the first Saturday in May. And so we would take charge of that part of Estes Park. And of course, this year we cannot do the duck race outdoors because we can't attract large crowds yet. So we're having it at the Lazy River, which allows 25 to 50 people, enough to run the race into their premises, and we're going to stream it online. But through the duck race, we support 65 different nonprofit organizations in town. Like one is Crossroads. They provide food and housing and emergency health services to the part of our town that needs it, the valley. And what the duck race does, it kind of synergizes with the nonprofits, and it says if you'll help us sell duck adoptions, we'll raise sponsor money for the prizes that will energize the sale of duck adoptions. So we raised, I get the last major donation of 500 from a major sponsor tomorrow, I think. And again, that's a friendship with a Hispanic gentleman who's a manager of Penelope's up here. It's a hamburger restaurant in downtown Estes Park. So I'm looking at 3 basic categories: community economic development, under which I would put college scholarships, synergizing with the Chamber of Commerce, then basic education and literature. We had a speaker, Olga Ortega. She was the first Hispanic business owner up here. She runs Mountain Cafe over at the Stanley Shopping Center, and her heart goes out to the people that couldn't put food on the table. And so her restaurant raises money and prepares food for all of those families. And she works with Crossroads to get food supplies and who needs it. But she said one of her favorite things is the part of the library that contributes books in Spanish to small children, that and books on how to, start a business, just practical things like that. And so our community service committee, raise funds for that, and we sent them a check last December. And then peace building and conflict resolution. Basically, um, um, we are a club that's been here forever. We spun off the Sunrise Rotary Club that meets Tuesdays at 7 and 6:30 in the morning, actually. And another club that meets Wednesday nights. It's really small. They have like 10 members. And our club has gradually gotten older. And as the older members move away or pass away, um, we just have not had very good touch on new people moving into the community to help them to see how what our brand is. You're talking about a brand, and I think that's what the encouragement is to, in People of Action, is to have a specific brand. And I'm not so sure I don't want to exclude anybody. You know what I mean? So I guess our club's brand is the old retired guy who has more money than he needs to live on, who's looking to help somebody. That's, I guess, what our brand has been, and I would like for it to be more in touch with um, age groups, more generation flexible to younger generations. Although I respect the retiree, I mean, there's something to be said for that form of service. And my conflict is do we continue to emphasize the retirement phase of life where there's plenty of energy and serviceability there, and maybe start another club for the younger generation or the Hispanic population? That's what I'm struggling with. It seems like Rotary likes to start new clubs that have specific niches. You know what I mean? Is that what we're getting at here? Is like Rotary has found that if a club has a specific focus, they're healthier, they can grow better. And if there's another need, just make another Rotary club, so to speak.
I think Cherie's on the call, and I saw Ken Richardson joined us, and Cherie's shaking her head, so I'll let her take over of what she
Hey,
sees
Cherie.
Rotary in this
How you
aspect.
doing?
I'm with you, Cherie.
A little.
Hey guys. I would say no. Yes, I don't want you to think that we only want your club to be focused on one thing. If you're going to be an environment club, then you can only do environment projects. Because I think that's the beauty of Rotary, is that you can pretty much fit anything into those 7 areas of focus. And there are very diverse clubs that are doing a lot of good in their community in a lot of those areas. And I don't think that you need to only have one specific thing that you're working on.
Yeah, I'd like to present something like this to the club and to say, what is our club? What is our brand? And People of Action covers the territory. You know what I mean? It covers all of the actions that we could take as people, regardless of generation, ethnicity, level of education, etc. So that's very attractive to me.
Well, honestly, Bill, I don't know that I would use that language, calling it a brand, because that's that has other meanings for people about, and some people are cynical about that and whatever. For me, the most powerful language is, what do we do?
Yeah.
Who do we benefit? How do we benefit them? So really lean into the word service, lean into the word benefit, things like that. Because brand says nothing about why anybody should care. and if we're not doing stuff out in the world that people care about, then what's the point of Rotary? Right. So Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so you may be the club of old white guys. I get that. We're kind of half that group ourselves. But that's not a brand. That's just who you've attracted. The question is, why do you attract them? It's because of what you do, who you benefit, how you benefit people. And, part of that is being a social club, okay. But that's not the real purpose of Rotary, is just be a social club.
Right. Well, where I picked up the brand was from Dr. Ricky Frierson, in his talks, is what is your projection to the world? And I think this memo or this little note says, what do people see when they look at your club?
Hmm.
What projects are they looking at? What is your impact on the community? And the duck race is a big, social media thing that everybody knows is a Rotary activity, and it's for all the family normally. Um, and so we're trying to make the projection online attractive to all ages, and it's got a little bit of everything. So I hope y'all will tune in on the Mountain Channel the 1st of May, starting at noon for a couple of hours, and see how it goes.
Are
But
you going to stream it online, Bill?
yes, it'll
Excellent.
be YouTube and Facebook. And although I don't know how they do it, I'm not a techie guy. I've got some kids helping us in the lazy river with a couple of dinosaur heads and stuff. Ducks face hazards in the river. Well, in the lazy river, they're going to face some new types of obstacles, and we've never done it before. So it's an art to do the starting line. You have to turn off the pumps to the lazy river and put all the ducks in, and then turn them back on. And so we'll have the guest of honor do that. And then at the finish line, you have to open it up so that it funnels the ducks in a narrow enough row so you can get the 5 first ones. So it's going to be an adventure for everybody. But I hope you'll tune in. We have the ballet and Brad Fitch. They both done a video, and there's a mystery in the ballet where Lucky Duck gets in trouble. Lucky Duck is our little mascot. So, but anyhow, we're in doing this. It creates a lot of camaraderie, and that's what we've missed for the Rotary Club members and their friends, because it's amazing how many people have to work together to put the duck race together the way it normally occurs. So I don't know. I'm just bundling along here. People of action to provide a benefit to those in need in our community.
Well, let's really quick. I want to have Ken Richardson. I didn't notice you joining, so I thought you could maybe give an introduction. And then out of these 7 areas of focus, if you would like to pick one. And one of the things, like Carl has said, is it's fluid. We might fit in all 7 of those, but for the purpose of this exercise, just choose one and one project that your club does. Because I know the Lander Club is growing and it's a great club.
Thank you, Jackie. I guess, yeah, I'm off mute. Our club is growing. It seems like we're getting a new member every 2 or 3 weeks, and we're retaining those members, which is, I guess, more important. I am the PR person for our club, but it's not my thing, really. I agreed to be the chairman because nobody else would on those kind of deals. But I am the webmaster, and so I do, at least when we're meeting in person, post photos and that sort of thing to our website. I guess if I had to pick one of these, boy, We're involved in all of them. Community economic development. Originally, our Lander Rotary Club were the founders of what is called the Lander Economic Development Commission. That group now is a separate entity. We have one of our members who's a member of that board. They've hired a full-time administrator. I think the purpose of it is to raise funds to better Lander. Most of our funds go to, in fact, all of them go to nonprofits. A lot of them go to things like our community meal that we help serve every Friday. It's open to anybody that wants it. We put on the Buffalo Barbecue, 4th of July. That attracts a bunch of people. Our 4th of July celebration is legendary, shall I say, particularly the fireworks. Let's see what else.
Incredible fireworks.
Yeah.
And that's just the ones in town.
All over town. We, several of our members are in influential positions with the economy of Lander. You may have heard of Maven Technology.
Yeah, Bill.
They're creating optics, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, binoculars, and they've been very successful. One of our members is the co-founder of that. In fact, they just got a grant to build a new building and add about 7 more people. I guess by helping to feed people, we're adding to the economic development. We assist with small pantries around the community. We help stuff food into them, make sure that they're provided. We participate in the community meal every Friday, which is open to anybody that wants to come. Right now, we're doing it on a drive-by basis, but it won't be long before we get back to sit down and serve. Well, I guess that's.
And that's one of the things that Carl had brought up, is how fluid these 7 areas of focus are and how we are able to fit into each of them, especially when you use your imagination and stretch what it means. Mary?
I just want to comment a little bit. If for those of you who don't know, I am a public relations company and I do branding work. And I think one of the things I saw with our own Rotary Club, and I'm hearing a lot of here, and I'll just make this comment broadly for you, is when you're talking to the general public and you start going through a laundry list of, oh, we do this and we give to this and we give to this and we give to this. What happens is people can't connect with it. And so even when I look at these 7 areas, sure, we know what maternal and child health is and community economic development, but it's so much and it's so big that people don't know how to hold on to that. And when you give something tangible, people will then know what you're doing. And I'll give an example of this. With the Governor's Art Show, we used to say, and I wrote the copy at the time, you know, these 2 Rotary clubs do it to help with youth and community and environmental causes in the city of Loveland. Nobody knows what that means. Or, I mean, it's not that they would find that offensive, but nor is it compelling. And when you really work, whether it's with a brand or an organization, when you're trying to get those branding looks or you're trying to get a branding message, it has to sort of resonate and break through. And one of the things we found is when we just focused on a single cause. Now, the truth is we do the Governor's Arch and we still go into many causes, but we focused on a single cause that would be the primary beneficiary. It really worked. And how it worked is then the artists who were in the show started to go, oh, wow, you're helping help homeless students who at 18, age out and still need help. They got it because we could tell a compelling story about how many youths in our city don't have a home to live in. And that resonated both with the artists and with the purchasing, the art donors, the art supporters. So I have a little trouble with when we see these 7 and trying to fit into Rotary, because I understand why you're trying to do that. But I would also say that when you're communicating what you do as a club to an outside group, understand that they will glaze over when you start talking RILA and scholarships and this and this and this, and oh, we also do this and we did this water project in Mexico. I think what helps branding is when it can be tangible. And sometimes you have to simplify your message in order to do that. Just my comment.
I love it. And I wrote it all down because that's exactly what this is about, is focusing on one message. I mean, we do a lot of things. All of our clubs are involved, but by choosing that one liner and you have a simple message, then you do lead into, I wrote that down about the tell your compelling story, because that's what our next step will be, is that once you identify this message, go back to your clubs, talk to them about this, but it is about that one passionate thing. We're all passionate. Like we have Shelby, who is passionate about her homeless center, but then we have this guy over here who's doing the Read to Me program. They both will have their messaging, but then you're able to, when we go out and are working on our membership drive, you can take that and you say, okay, I know who we are as a club. What Bill said about being the old man's club, that's not the brand, that's not the message you want to say. What we're finding in Rotary is that a lot of people don't know what you stand for and why they should be a part of it. And it's knowing your audience. Who do you want to attract? I think Lander is doing a great job because they have a lot of young people joining, a lot of passion, and they have their reasons for joining. And it's important to kind of look at it as on an individual basis. And that's where I agree fully with Mary, and Mary put it in beautifully into words. So thank you.
Comment. I noticed that Mary had looked like a brochure. We just had brochure printed for the Lander Club. And I was wondering, maybe at one of these future meetings, if I can figure out how to do it, I'd like to share it with the group and get your opinions.
That would be great. I'd love to see it. Oh, you're on mute, Carl.
Yeah, sorry. If you've got it in a PDF form, Ken, then showing that and mailing it around is super easy.
And speaking of which, if I could get everybody's email in the chat, I got Carl's and Bill's. So if you want to put your email in there, and I'll do the same with mine. That way we can touch base after the call. And I would like to know what topics, because I was just looking at the list that Kelly did, and I got 22 of these power hours to do. They got me booked out, Cherie. I was thinking 5, 6.
Yeah, we'll have it all solved. It's easy, no problem.
I think she just scheduled them for like 2 years or something, so she didn't have to keep scheduling them.
Did.
She can change it at any time that you are ready.
Hey. Once a month I can handle. It's just funny when you see 22 and you're like, wow. I'm trying to remember how to go out of there. I'll also email Kelly this so that she could get it to the clubs, but I do think it would be important. I mean, the purpose of this first call was just to kind of start talking about a simplistic message and about how to developed so you can have your elevator pitch. That's one of the things that you want to be able to say is who we are as Rotary, and you have 30 seconds to tell somebody and to get them excited, to be able to kind of lead into it and tell a compelling story, that warm-hearted. It's like just telling how you know that you've impacted. Even if you just impacted one person and you can share their story, that is what Rotary is about. It's putting a face on your club, but taking, yes, we have to, because we're part of an international club, there are rules that Cherie knows I've broken, lots of them, when it comes to the branding. And I know I'm going to continue breaking them because it's like they're, I don't always pay attention, but I think it's good that they give us these assets, they give us these stories and these ideas that we can then use and take back to our clubs and make it ours. So it's no longer, oh, that's Rotary International. And we come back and we say, okay, this is us. This is who we are. We're the love, the club that, oh, now I forgot what your saying was, and I've seen it in my head. What is it, Mary?
The Club with Heart.
The club with heart. And I think, don't you have a sign or something about that down on one of those near the chamber? I thought I saw a sign once when we were down there.
We have signs in the Foundry downtown. We put a sculpture in and there's signs there. I don't
Okay.
think we have anything.
I've
but-
seen it before.
So
Well, is there
Jackie,
anything that,
I need
Yeah,
to
I
take
think we all
off because
need-
I'm on to another meeting.
okay.
Got back to back.
Thank
but
you so much for joining us, Carl. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it. And your
you.
input's been very valuable. We'll see
I
you next
appreciate it.
month.
All right, see ya.
See ya. How do I stop this share? There we go. All right, does anyone else have anything else they'd want to add? Cherie, any words of wisdom for us?
No, I think this was really nice. I hope you guys got something out of it, and I hope that we can get everybody something valuable by doing this once a month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks for setting this up, Jackie, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. All right, I'm going to copy down those email addresses.
Jackie, since you, it
Yes.
appears that you know how to work the Zoom, could I email you a copy of our brochure and have
Yes.
you post it next time?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'll send it to people in the next email I send out with this Word document.
Thanks again.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been good having you on. And thanks for volunteering to be their PR person.
Well, it's a good club to do anything for, so.
You know, it really is. Trying to get all these emails before, I don't know if it saves the stuff. What is your email? Oh, I got it. Okay.
If you could send me a quick email with your address on it, then I'll just respond to it with that brochure.
Okay, perfect. I will do that.
Thanks, Jackie. See ya.
Thank you, Ken. See ya. I'm missing somebody. only got everyone that gave me theirs. Okay.